guys, it's Mrs. Lamphere. We are looking at the final unit of the course, woohoo! Unit 5, the second portion, which is over retirement. First part was over investing, so this one's going to be over retirement. So, and I hope that when I mentioned the word retirement, you guys didn't all just conk out and go to sleep, because it is actually really important, even at your age. So I know right now you might be thinking, why should we be worrying about retirement when most of you are still probably living at home? Well, here's why. And you should kind of have a good idea about how I'm going to approach this, just because throughout the entire course we've talked about how important it is to start saving and start saving early. And this is most important when it comes to retirement. So like we've been saying, it's never too early to start saving. The earlier someone begins to save for retirement, the less money they will actually need to save. And that should make sense to you because we've talked about compound interest and how our money can grow and grow and grow. And if you're at our Class Connect session, we talked about the example with Ben and Arthur and how Ben invested a lot less money, but it ended up growing to be a lot more because he started so much earlier than Arthur. It's easier to reach retirement goals by starting early. So it's really important that you guys start thinking now about what you want your life to be like when you go to retire. Do you want to be able to vacation and travel? Do you want to start new hobbies? Really think about the lifestyle you want to have, because that's going to be important when it comes to how much money you need to save in advance for that. Your financial situation could very well determine at what age you retire. So if you put off saving for retirement and you get to retirement age and you're like, wow, I don't have near enough money set aside for me to be able to retire right now. So you might have to work a lot more years than you originally wanted to, just because you don't have that money available to retire on. Okay, so when it comes to retirement, let's first talk about Social Security. Many of you have probably heard this before, and you probably link it to maybe identity theft or your little Social Security cards. But in this case, what Social Security refers to is that chunk of money that we talked about that's getting deducted from our paycheck. Does anyone remember the term FICA and how that tax that was getting pulled out of our income? That was Social Security tax. And what that money does, it goes into a big pool of money that helps pay for people that are in retirement. So what Social Security is a mandated supplemental retirement system in the United States. Supplemental means it should not be the main form. It's there to help. Okay? Well, you're gonna hear me mention that several times while we're talking about Social Security. It started as a way to prevent older retired folks from having to live in poverty. So it's just kind of going to be some additional income for those people that are retiring. You can receive reduced benefits starting at age 62, and you can start to receive full benefits from Social Security at age 67. So by the time you retire, Social Security, though, could have different rules and regulations. So that age of retirement has actually been increasing. So make sure you're paying attention when you go to retire, what ages are that you can start to receive benefits. So the way Social Security works is the more time you put into the system and the more money you put into the system, meaning your working life and your career, the higher your Social Security check will be. So when you go to retire, they're going to look at how many years you worked, how much money you actually contributed to Social Security, and that will help determine what your Social Security checks look like every month. Okay, so then you might be thinking, why do I need a retirement account when Social Security is going to be there to take care of me? Again, the key word is supplemental. Okay, this was not meant for someone to rely on solely. So let's look at that a little more in depth here. Again, your monthly check from Social Security is going to be drastically lower than what your monthly income was before you retired. So it's not going to be able to afford you the lifestyle that you were probably living before you retired. Again, Social Security was never meant to be the sole financial provider for retired individuals. A lot of people misunderstand that, and they think that that money is going to be enough for them to live off of, and they're sadly mistaken. Again, supplemental program only. This is just additional money that they're giving you to help you with retirement. And so what the critics say about Social Security is that it may not even exist by the time you guys go to retire, and even myself by the time I go to retire. We talked about this in our Class Connect session, so make sure you watch that recording about the baby boomers and why that has such a big effect on us right now. So what can you do? So you might be thinking, okay, so what can I do? If I can't rely on Social Security, how do I start planning for retirement? Well, you can invest in a retirement account, and here's some options for you. Your text talks about several different types of retirement accounts, and there's actually a lot more out there, but we're going to focus on these certain types now. But you should be doing some research to figure out what other plans there are. The first one your text mentions is a pension plan, and actually these, I really haven't even heard of a company still offering pension plans. But what they are is it's an arrangement to provide income to people who are no longer earning income through that job. So it's set up by that employer to provide payments to their retired workers. So they kind of like continue to pay those individuals that are retired. Those don't really exist that much anymore. What they have now are what's called 401k retirement plans. So 401k is just the name of a retirement plan, and it's sponsored by your employer. So it's an employer-sponsored plan. So you have to work at a company that offers a 401k in order for you to get a 401k. How a 401k works, when you invest into your 401k, it delays income tax until your funds are withdrawn. So when you put that money straight from your paycheck, it goes in there without being taxed first. And it goes into that 401k, and then when you go to retire and withdraw that money, that's when they tax you on income. So it can be quite a chunk of change once you go to withdraw that money that goes towards taxes. So on the plus side, it allows your money to grow without paying income tax on the amount each year. So with some of your investments, you might have to pay capital gains tax. So the amount that your investment grows each year, you might have to be taxed as income on that every year. That's not how it works with the 401k. And 401k puts all that taxing off until the very end when you go to withdraw. So again, you set aside a portion of your paycheck to go towards your 401k, and a lot of times companies offer a matching program. So this is how that works. Say your company provides up to a 5% match. So if you are willing to contribute 5% of your income to your 401k, your company will match that amount. So say your income, just for kind of easy number purposes, say you make $100,000 a year and you contribute 5% of that towards your 401k. So your contribution towards your 401k is going to be $5,000, and your company is going to match that. So they're also going to contribute $5,000. So then that's $10,000 for you a year going towards your 401k. So again, if your company offers a match, you want to at least contribute up to that match amount. Because if you're only contributing $3,000, then your company is only going to contribute $3,000. And that's $2,000 that you're free money that you're missing out on from your company's match. So keep that in mind. Always match what your company is willing to provide. A little more on 401ks. According to current tax rules, you can start withdrawing from your 401k at age 59 and a half. If you withdraw early, you are going to be hit with stiff penalties from the IRS. And the reason they do that is because this is your retirement money. They don't want you to touch it. The reason they put these penalties on there is to strongly discourage you from retiring that money any earlier. So again, 401k is for retirement. It's not just another savings account for you to put money in and take out whenever you want it. It's for retirement, so don't touch it. We also have what are called 403b retirement accounts. This is another employer-sponsored account, meaning again it's set up by the company that you work for. So it's just provided by that company. So this type of retirement plan, the main difference between a 403b and a 401k is it's for certain types of employees. So whether it's for public schools or churches or any other type of tax-exempt organization. Before I became a teacher, I worked for a visitors bureau, and we were a tax-exempt organization, and I had a 403b retirement plan. So any type of tax-exempt organization. Like a 401k, these are tax-deferred retirement accounts. So you pay taxes on the money once it's withdrawn, not once it goes in. And then also like a 403B, they typically offer a match, a certain percentage of match. So again, with a 403B, you want to make sure that you're putting in up to that match that your company is going to also provide. All right, let's go into IRA accounts. IRA accounts are individual retirement accounts. So these are not set up by your company. These are set up by you individually. They are designed to hold investments until the retirement age. Certain tax advantages and penalties. So again, it's taxed, but a little differently, and we're going to get into that here in a minute. And there are still some penalties for early withdrawal, but there's also certain exceptions. So we'll get into those too. Again, so this is individual retirement account. This is something you would set up on your own. It's not sponsored by an employer. And the good news is you guys could set up one of these accounts now if you have a job that reports your earnings, that you're getting taxed appropriately. So in order to set up an IRA, all you need to do is have a job for a company that reports your earnings so that you're being taxed, income tax. If you have a job where you mow lawns or babysit and they're just paying you cash and you're not getting that income tax taken out, then you cannot open an IRA. You need to have a job where they report your earnings. That way you're being taxed before that money goes in. Also with an IRA, you cannot contribute more than the maximum amount allowed. There's a limit on how much you can put in there per year. And in 2008, that limit was $5,000, and that's what it mentions in your text. And actually, I looked this up today. In 2013, the limit was $5,500. So that amount changes every year, or it can change. So just make sure you're staying up to date on the contribution limits for the IRA. There are two types of IRA accounts. There's the traditional IRA. This is also tax deferred, so meaning it's going to be taxed when you go to withdraw the money when you go to retire. So again, similar to a 401k and a 403b. You also must be 59 and a half to withdraw without penalties. One minor difference between a traditional IRA and a 401k, 403b is there are some exceptions. So if you go to if you withdraw some money early in order to pay for some college, then you won't get penalized, or if it goes towards a first home. There are some exceptions with the traditional IRA. Now, Roth IRA is a little more exciting. The Roth IRA, you're taxed on the money before it goes into the account. So this is considered tax exempt rather than tax deferred. So you're taxed on that money before it goes into the account. When you go to withdraw it, you're not taxed when you go to withdraw it. So again, meaning you do not pay taxes on the gains of that account. So that your money is taxed before it goes in there. So while it's in your account and it's growing in your different investments, you get to keep all that money once you go to withdraw it. You're not taxed again. So that's the main difference between a Roth IRA and all these other types of retirement accounts is you're taxed before, so you're not taxed again after. And with a Roth IRA, you can withdraw from the principal, so the money that you contributed to that account, you can withdraw at any time tax-free. Once it's been in there for 5 years, that's your money that you can use. You cannot, however, withdraw from the gains on that account without penalty. So you can withdraw again on your principal. So whatever you've contributed to that account, you can withdraw on. But any interest that was earned on that account, you're subject to the same penalties that you would with these other accounts. Strongly, strongly encourage you to watch this video. This is really cool. We watched this in our Class Connect session. This guy gives a really good visual of how these IRA accounts work. And he's really kind of funny about it. He brings in like Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek and these cyborgs trying to penetrate the IRA protection shield. It's really kind of funny. So check out this video, and I have these slides actually uploaded into Doc Sharing, so you can go and access this link. You can copy and paste it, or you can just type it in. Make sure you get all the little letters and symbols correct. But watch this video about retirement plans. It's really good. It's really funny. And then, since I'm running out of time for this video, I'm going to talk about the retirement project in the next video. So stay tuned.